Hello everyone, TMMgamer here, and today I have the pleasure to bring you another one of my FIFA 14 team tutorials. And as you can see on the screen, today's tutorial is going to cover the Belgium national side. Now I like to set Belgium up in a 3-5-2 formation, and the players I pick are Courtois in goal, Vermaelen, Kompany and Vertonghen as the back three, Fellaini and Witsel in central defensive midfield, Morales on the right, Hazard on the left, De Bruyne as central attacking midfield, and then Lukaku and Benteke up front. Now, I have to say, Belgium are one of my favourite teams to play with on seasons mode in FIFA. They were in FIFA 13 and they are again in FIFA 14. You know, I really like playing with teams that are nice and solid and very balanced, and Belgium is certainly that. And this is a very interesting tutorial because this is actually the first team this year which I've recommended that you play them in a 3-5-2 formation. That gives you a whole range of possibilities and tactics that aren't available to other formations, and I'll touch on that briefly as I go through the team. But before I do that, I just want to talk quickly about the game that's playing in the background. This is a seasons game. Obviously it's a game versus Liverpool, and Liverpool are an opponent you will run into a lot playing as Belgium. I played 4 warm-up games before I did this tutorial, and 3 of them I played against Liverpool. That's because obviously Liverpool, another very good side, 4.5 star, a lot of people pick them, and if you play as Belgium you will play Liverpool quite a lot. So very interesting game to watch. I take an early lead, but then for the rest of the first half my opponent puts me under pressure, and he doesn't really have too many clear-cut chances, but he has a lot of shots on the edge of the area, and it just shows you how solid Belgium can be, you know, defensively and then offensively. This is the goal I score, very nice move, and then the header, and it's just a nice game in the background to illustrate some of the things I'm going to be talking about. But that's that out the way. One thing I did want to quickly mention is that all player ratings are based on the squad that is available on the 7th of January 2014. So let's get right on with the tutorial. And as always, we start with the goalkeeper. And in goal for Belgium, I choose Thibaut Courtois. And Courtois has been playing very well for Atletico Madrid the last couple of years, and his high level of performances are definitely illustrated through his FIFA rating. He has great base stats in all the shot stopping attributes. He has 82 diving, 88 handling, 84 positioning and 86 reflexes. Those really are top quality attributes for a goalkeeper. The only stat he has which is slightly dodgy is his 69 kicking attribute, but that really does not affect the game at all. And like you see there, I have launched an absolutely tremendous kick through, and I really should have scored with Lukaku there. You know, Courtois has decent distribution, he has the goalkeeper long throw trait as well, so really there are no problems with him. I can't believe he's only an 84 rated. The only reason he's that low is because the kicking attribute brings his overall down quite a lot, but he is a very good keeper, and one I heartily recommend playing with as Belgium. Moving into the back line now, the first player starting on the right of the back three is Thomas Vermaelen. Obviously Arsenal's former captain, not anymore, but still a very solid player. He's an 80 rated player, and he has some very useful attributes. The primary attribute which is very useful on him is 94 jumping. You know, you do not see too many players with better jumping than that. You know, he's not particularly tall, he's just a base 6 foot, but having that level of jumping is a great attribute, and you don't often see him get outclassed in the air for a centre-back with, you know, not too much height and power about him. One problem about Thomas Vermaelen, he does have high attacking work rate, and this is always a problem in central defenders, and it does mean he does like to get up the field a little bit, so you do need to be a little bit careful about that. But the rest of his stats really do compensate for that slight downside. You know, he's 83 heading, 80 marking, 82 stand tackling and 82 slide tackling. Very solid stats. He also has the power header trait as well, further underlining his ability in the air. You know, very solid all around, and a great start to your back three. Moving in field now to Vincent Kompany. Vincent Kompany, you know, captain of the side for Belgium, 86 rated. He is an absolute beast. He's right up there with the best centre-backs in FIFA. Very good overall stats. He has 88 strength, 87 interceptions, so great ability just to bully players off the ball and always be in the right position. And then his technical stats are fantastic as well. 84 heading accuracy, 84 marking, 90 stand tackling. Having someone with 88 strength and 90 stand tackling is very rare in FIFA. He is an absolute machine when it comes to taking the ball off strikers, and he's very useful because you have players like Vermaelen and Vertonghen, who I'm going to come into in a little bit, who like to get up the field because of their high attacking work rates, and having someone who is just a brick wall at the back is so useful. So I really do like Vincent Kompany. He's absolutely fantastic and a very solid player to have in the middle. Moving over to the left-hand side of the back three, like I mentioned, it's Jan Vertonghen. Now, Jan Vertonghen is an ideal player, I think, to have in a back three. You know, 3 centre-backs, you want players with mobility and players who are good on the ball. And this is another great thing about all of these Belgian back three players. All of them are very solid on the ball. You know, Vincent Kompany, for example, has 80 short passing. You know, Vertonghen, he has just unbelievable stats, really. He does have high attacking work rate, again, like I mentioned, but look at his stats, you know, 82 strength, 81 stamina, 80 jumping, 84 interceptions, 80 heading, 80 short passing. You know, those are very good stats. Jan Vertonghen also has 86 shot power, which is a, you know, a very strange stat for a centre back to have, but because he has high attacking work rate, he often finds himself in a position where he can use that attribute, you know, and have a ping from distance and actually create a few goal-scoring opportunities from it. So he's a very nice, all-round, mobile, composed centre-back, and that is exactly what you need when you're playing a back three. So that's the defence. Let's move into midfield. And the 2 central defensive midfielders in this formation are Fellaini and Witsel. And let's start with Witsel. Now, Axel Witsel is a very important player to have because he complements Fellaini very well. You know, Axel Witsel has 85 stamina, 87 agility, 85 ball control, 83 short passing. You know, he is the more technical central midfielder in this setup, and that's something that's very important to have. It's always important when setting up a side to maintain a balance, and I always go on about this in my FIFA team tutorials, getting the balance of the side right. It's no use having 50 unbelievable technical players in the squad if you can't have anyone who can take the ball off a player, and vice versa. So having someone in there who has that sort of trickery about him, he has 4-star skill moves as well, he has the flair trait, you know, he's not the quickest player, but if you get the ball to his feet in a good area, he can do a nice little trick and glide past a player and a nice little pass. You know, he has 83 short passing, very useful player to have in and around that midfield zone, and he just links the play very nicely. You see a lot of the football that I play as Belgium go through Axel Witsel. Nice little passes, he sits into the radar a little bit. You know, he has had a few rating hits over the past year or two in FIFA, him and Fellaini actually. He did used to be incredible, but he's still a very solid player and one I enjoy playing with. So that's him covered. Let's move on to his partner in crime, Marouane Fellaini. Fellaini, like I mentioned, great fall for Witsel because he is a tank. Marouane is an absolute beast. He has 91 strength, which is huge, and 87 aggression. So he's your ball-winning midfielder, no doubt about it. He only has 79 stand tackling, which you might think is a little bit low. But when you combine that with his aggression and his strength attributes, he wins the ball so often because he might not cleanly tackle them, but when he just comes in and shoulder barges you to the floor, it's like there's no need to be able to put a tackle in when you're 6'8" and you know you're a beast. And that's exactly what Fellaini does. He just muscles so many players off the ball, and it's just a nice short pass to Witsel who does his stuff, and that's how so many attacks start as Belgium. He's really good at doing that. You know, he has med work rate, so he doesn't really get tired. He has 86 stamina, but what he normally does is just sit in front of that back three and provide a bit of a screen, because you have Vermaelen and Vertonghen who get forward. Having Fellaini in there, very solid. He complements the formation, the setup very well. So those are the 2 central midfielders. Let's move now to the right wing, to one of my favourite players on FIFA, actually, Kevin Morales. And if you've watched my Ultimate Team stuff, you know just how much I like this guy. He is an absolutely fantastic winger. He has 90 acceleration and 87 sprint speed. Always key attributes to winger, and that's a really nice finish I made in there. But always important to have a winger who can take a fullback on, whether that's through trickery or through pure pace. And the great thing about Morales, he has both options open to him, because he also has 4-star skill moves. So that's a very useful attribute. So when you say he's got all of this pace, he has 86 agility, so he can glide around players. He has 87 dribbling as well. So on the ball, he's right up there with any winger on FIFA. He has very, very solid crossing attributes as well. He has 80 crossing, it's no problem at all. When you combine that with his 4-star weak foot, he can check inside and put a ball in on with his left as well. Very useful attribute to have for a winger. And he also has decent finishing stats, 78 finishing, not to be sniffed at for a winger. So he can cut inside if the cross is not on and have a pop-up goal with reasonable efficiency. And that's something you need with players. You need goals to come from a large area of the pitch. You cannot just rely on one player for goals to have a successful side. And Kevin Morales does pop up with the odd goal every now and again. I think on average on my ultimate team he scores a goal every 6 or so games, and it's roughly the same when I play with Belgium. You know, he will pop up with good few number of assists and several good goals here and there. So very, very useful player to have. And one of my favourite players in FIFA. You definitely get a lot of bang for your buck with ratings with Morales. He might only be an 80 overall, but he plays a lot better than that. So great player on the right, and on the left you have a phenomenal player in Eden Hazard. You know, when I was doing a little bit of research for this, it dawned on me again that Eden Hazard is still only 21, which is just absolutely ridiculous. He has the potential to be so incredibly fantastic, and you know, he's still pretty unbelievable at the moment. He has, again, 91 acceleration, hugely useful as a winger. He has slightly lower top speed than Morales on the right, but 85 sprint speed is nothing to be sniffed at whatsoever. But you see so many times with Eden Hazard, he will just, from a standing start, blast a fullback out of the water, and that's because he has great agility. Again, 92, he has 90 balance and 88 dribbling and ball control. Absolutely fantastic stats. You know, the rest of his technical stats are all solidly in the 80s as well. He has no weak rating whatsoever. He's just very, very useful. And the great thing about him as well, he has 85 short passing. So whether you like to be, you know, a bit more direct and try and take players on, or whether you like to do a passing maneuver, or you want to, you know, just do a few skill moves. Again, he has 4-star skill moves. You can do all of that with Eden Hazard. He's the complete winger for me. He offers you something a little bit different to Morales as well. You know, Morales, a lot of the time you want to be walking him around the outside to put that cross in first and then check in second. With Hazard, it's the other way around. Checking in is always your first option because, like I mentioned, great passing stats. He's got great skill moves and dribbling, so you want to keep trying to take players on and come on the inside. But then again, if that gets shut down, he has 4-star weak foot, so you can go on the outside and put the ball in. So he's really good. He's one of the key players for Belgium. You see a lot of play go through Eden Hazard, and he's very, very effective at what he does. So that's him covered. Let's move now into the central attacking midfield position. And in the 3-5-2, this is a key position. And there's a bit of competition for Belgium in this place. You could go for either Moussa Dembele or, like I've gone for, go for Kevin De Bruyne. And the reason why I've gone for Kevin De Bruyne over Moussa Dembele is because, well, the one key advantage De Bruyne has is his 5-star weak foot. 5-star weak foot is just, they're worth their weight in gold, the players who have this attribute, because it means they are basically twice as effective as a player who has 2-star weak foot, and that's what Moussa Dembele has. Moussa Dembele has some absolutely fantastic attributes for a central attacking midfielder, don't get me wrong, but he has 2-star weak foot, so he can only use those fantastic attributes half of the time, and this is a major problem for me. Whenever you pick a central attacking midfielder, you need him to be a key player for you, or certainly a very, very useful player, because a huge amount of play will go through him. And if he's only useful half of the time, you need to get someone else in the position. And that's why, unfortunately for me, Moussa Dembele does not get a look in, because a 2-star weak foot is not a good level at all. Really, you do notice that level of weak foot. And to get away with that, you need to have unbelievably phenomenal attributes, and the player that immediately springs to mind in that example is Mesut Ozil. Yeah, Mesut Ozil has terrible weak foot rating on FIFA, but his technical stats are so incredible that he can carry it. Moussa Dembele is the tier below Mesut Ozil on FIFA. He is very, very useful, but he's not stratospherically good in his technical stats. And that's why De Bruyne nudges it for me. But don't get me wrong, De Bruyne is still a very, very competent central attacking midfielder. He has 82 sprint speed, always useful, 85 stamina, 83 long shots. He also has the long shot taker trait as well, so it's always worth having a pop with De Bruyne. Don't forget as well, 5-star weak foot, I keep banging on, but it is key. You can find yourself in situations with De Bruyne where you can just have a pot shot, and with Moussa Dembele it would end up and hit a fan in the face in row Z, and De Bruyne will test the keeper and win you a corner or He'll get a dodgy deflection and it'll drop to Benteke. He'll put it in. You know, De Bruyne is a very, very useful player. He has 82 long passing and 82 short passing as well. So if he finds himself a little bit deeper, he can spray a long pass or he can slot a striker through very, very nicely. He is a very good player, actually. And I'm surprised to see him play as little as he does at Chelsea, to be honest. I really do like De Bruyne. But moving up the field now, let's talk about the first striker. And the first striker I'm going to talk about, playing on the right-hand side, is Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku is a beast. You know, he's done so well at Everton this season on loan from Chelsea, and he's a very, very competent striker on FIFA as well. Another player with just unbelievable level of strength in this Belgian team, 90 strength, and that is coupled with 86 sprint speed. Having that combination in a player in your team is just a huge asset, because it means that so many centre-backs are immediately blown out the water by Lukaku, because you either get centre-backs who are quick or strong. You very, very rarely get a centre-back who isn't 84, 85, 86 rated, who is both. So for an 80 rated striker, Lukaku can counter centre-backs with a 3 or 4 rating advantage above him. And this is the thing, you know, Belgium has a lot of players in their team who play above their ratings, and Lukaku is certainly another one of those. Other good stats he has: 81 finishing, 84 shot power. Very, very useful. So he's much better with the ball at his feet. A lot of people think of Lukaku on FIFA as a target man. This is not true. He only has 70 jumping. That's a low stat for a good target man. Keep the ball on the floor. Get him to run at players. Play him through balls, and you will have huge success with Lukaku. Very, very good player. His partner in crime up front, Christian Benteke. Now, Benteke is more of your traditional target man. Again, 90 strength, huge ability, but where Lukaku has low jumping, Benteke has 81 jumping. He has 84 finishing as well, and 81 heading. He's a much more of a poacher target man. You want to play it to his feet, he will then lay the ball off, and then he will do his own thing. You do not want to spend too much time with the ball at Benteke's feet. Get it to him, lay it off, get him in the box. Definitely play him in that sort of role. He does have decent mobility, 82 acceleration, 81 sprint speed. Use that to his advantage. Get the ball to Hazard, get the ball to Morales, get the ball to De Bruyne, play it in behind to Lukaku and then dink it to Benteke, or if the ball goes wide, cross to Benteke and let Lukaku feed off the scraps. You know, there's so many good combinations in this Belgian team, and that's why I like them so much. They are a fantastic team to play with. I really cannot emphasize just how good they are. I really do recommend you check them out. One of my favorite teams on FIFA for a number of years now, and you know, an outside tip to do some serious damage at the World Cup as well. They have a very, very talented starting 11, and they could cause a few shocks. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.